Alright. Hey guys, Dante here, and welcome back to our Sunday night stream. I'm just gonna adjust my audio levels a bit. There we go, much better. Alright. I found a way to reduce the noise from my desktop. I take my screen, my computer screen, and nudge it over to the side to lean against the side of the desktop with a little piece of paper, some kind of cushion in between, and that reduces the vibration. That's the real issue. That was the sound that kept coming off my desktop. It's not so much the fan, it's the natural vibration of the metal frame. But we got that fixed. So, first things first, I noticed, thanks to talking to my good friend Joe, Quatorius Rex, that in yesterday's stream, the intern didn't notice, and so I had to fix it. The intern didn't notice that the chat wasn't duplicating. The image, the videos were. So people were seeing it on YouTube, on Twitter, and etc., but the chat wasn't. And I think I found out why. So I fixed it for him, so next time he jumps on the computer and uses whatever gaming he's going to be doing, whatever gaming platform, PC or on Steam or whatever, people will be able to comment, and he'll be able to see it, because apparently if I'm not there to hold his hand, he can't do anything. Anyway, welcome everyone. So what are we doing today? As I adjust my belt. Well, first, let me do one quick glance over back. Let's see. Anyone following us? Anyone going on? What's going on in the world? I'm just doing some double checking across the board. As always, we run a professional show here, apparently. That is very annoying. My tablet won't show me on Twitch how many people are following me. During the stream, that is. Like, it just doesn't show up. I never know why. That's why the colors look weird. There we go. Forgot to also turn off the eye protection on my screen. So if we start coloring stuff, it was gonna look really odd. Anyway, you can see on the side here all the test chat. All right. So what are we doing today? As the title indicates, we are returning to some old artwork I have, and just trying to hash out some old projects. So basically, for those of you not in the know, I like designing card games. I have several card games in prototype format, and it's tricky because it's not just the artwork, it's not just the style or the theme. It's also, well, kind of thinking of how to do the gameplay, the actual mechanics. I don't just want to copy another card game. I know there's probably someone else out there who's done the same thing I've done, but until I see it, I don't know it. But essentially, I want to do a card game that has a relatively unique gameplay. You know, you can borrow elements here and there. So I am revamping several old games, primarily Thunderhead. Thunderhead, history's first genius, was a card game. My very first card game I tried to create. I spent way too much money trying to get it off the ground as an independent, like, you know, just copyright stuff and etc., etc. I'm taking it back to the board more or less and trying to redesign how it functions. It's going to basically function more or less like Monopoly. It'll be a board, and then there'll be cards in the center, and based on where you land, you pick certain cards. And that's as far as it goes in terms of like its Monopoly similarities. There are other gameplay elements to it. You know what I'm going to do? I need to readjust this. There we go. There's a chat. So in short, I'm going back to the drawing board, so to speak, and we are just designing some of the old cards. So a lot of it's gonna be a lot of tracing today, just tracing and talking about the card game, and just taking it easy, taking it chill. So what you see here is going to be the back of all the cards. All the cards have the same back. There's a stone area with a little bit of greenery and a miscellaneous reptilian creature on it. In fact, if I turn this on, you can see the outline of where the card actually lands. So I'm doing lots of bleed on the edges, like that way, you know, it doesn't print weird. So the orange line is the cutoff of the card. Let me zoom in a bit. The orange line is the outline of the card itself. The dotted line is a safety area for where all text should be, which is why all the main artwork, like this little lizard right here, kind of lands within that. And the majority of this branch also lands there. This is the background, and each background is going to have a different symbol. So in this case, this right here, along with a little white paint background, to make it stand out. I'm kind of iffy about the white paint, but this is the symbol for parts, the part card. How many parts do you need to complete a particular item in the game? But we're not doing parts today. Let me see, that's the ink. So you have the inks and the flat cut. You have the inks on one layer as per usual, and the colors beneath that. But we're not doing a part card. In fact, we're not working on the back. We're working on the front. Sorry, working on the actual face. Which is this. It's a pelt of a miscellaneous prehistoric creature. Once again, all the artwork lands just within that blue dotted line. We are doing the wild cards. So much like Monopoly, yes, they're all wild cards. Cards just cause weird things to happen. And when I first started doing this game, I designed way too many wild cards and I printed way too many. So I cut back on them, and today we're just going to be doing some inking. So what was the first wild card we did? There we go. Once again, white background, as if it was painted on there. And it has the "you created fire, fire bad. You lose one part." And that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So that's my fire card, and we are going to be working on the educate yourself card. You made a bookshelf using stone slabs. What's a book? And you now draw one part card. So I'm just going to basically redraw this stone slab bookshelf, and then, you know, edit the text, fix everything else. And as we go along, these are all the original cards. We're going to take all this artwork and we're just going to transfer them over. Just transfer every card over. So let us go. Let's start with select layer. Okay, let me make sure I lock that. Okay, we're on this layer. White background. What kind of pen tool in Clip Studio matches this kind of squared off look of this original one? Maybe it was marker. Maybe. Has like these kind of soft edges here. So I gotta figure out which tool. Yeah, I gotta find which pen works best for this. I think it'd be a pencil. Nope. See, this is the issue now, switching from one program to the other. That might work. What is that? That is chalk. So chalk, I think chalk works well. Kind of like keep the style. Noise. Ooh. No, noise is no good. Yeah, I think we have to go with chalk. It's not perfect. This has more of a the original image had like more streaky, kind of squared off. It was like a brush. And we have pens, pastel. We don't really got brushes. Actually, we do have a brush. We do have brushes. Let's see what we got. Oh, here we go. No. Oil. That's it. Oil paint flat brush. Now we got it. Okay, so oil paint flat brush. That's going to be used to fill in the whites behind our font. I'm doing this, originally was the idea of like, oh, it'll be like ink drawings on a cave wall, but then I realized you just didn't stand out that much, so I started using white backgrounds. Like they smear white first, and then okay, good. And what we got? Free erasers. That works well. This is, what is this? This is kneaded eraser. Yeah. It gives it like the issue with the kneaded eraser, you have to do a few layers. It's not perfectly. What is the tool for? It's B. B for brush, obviously. Yeah, kneaded eraser does it does it soft, so I have to like definitely go twice to like really get rid of the white. But it does have that broken look to it. What does rough do? No, rough is nah. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna use the kneaded eraser, even though I gotta do like twice. So it's, you have, for the brushes, you have watercolor, Indian ink, realistic. But I'm using thick. It's called, I can't tell what it's called. It's called thick something. This thick paint, yeah. This oil is a flat brush. That's what's giving me what I'm looking for. Flat brush. Big old strokes. Okay. So that's that. Now, we're going to estimate how much do we need here. Okay, we're going to estimate like what we're going to be redrawing. Because I'm drawing obviously all the, as you can tell by the burn it with fire. No, you've created fire. Burn it with fire. I'm going to be doing thick lines. All of these have thick lines. So I'm redrawing everything with like a thickness to it. burn it with fire as opposed to burning it with water. There we go. All right. Just double checking everything. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Yeah, inks. Okay. Too many layers. Too many. It's just gonna have a lot of layers in it. I'm putting all the cards in separate layers on one folder. Oof. Long one. There we go. Jump in. Yeah, I think that's a good font. Let's try 5 just in case. Let's go with 5. That's it for today, guys. We are just straight up redoing old artwork. And this is, I've been putting this off because it's so tedious, but it has to be done. Like, if I don't do this, the game won't be complete. And the card, so the wild cards vary. They're like everything from, you know, you made a bookshelf, gain this much intelligence, to straight up like, hold on, sorry. There you go. To like straight up just, you ran off a cliff, lose 1 health, like random and stuff. And I'm sure I might have mentioned this in a previous stream, like maybe one of my first streams when I was trying this out. And this card game, Dunderhead, is actually a kind of edited version, an altered version of a Minecraft card game I was drawing as a joke. Like I was just doing like random event cards that would usually happen to anyone playing Minecraft. One of which was run off a cliff. One of which was the original You Created Fire. Like the very original one where this guy's on fire was actually Steve holding a block of wood on fire. It says, "You made fire. Good for you. You've burned down your house." And so on and so forth. And I realized I was just doing so many of them. So many of these like little gags. I was like, I could make my own card game. And I decided, you know, taking some friends' advice. And this is years ago when I started doing this. When I first started drawing this, I took my friend's advice and I just went ahead and started like designing Thunderhead. And it didn't work out the first time I tried to do the prototype. So I stepped away from it, tried a few other game ideas, which some worked, some didn't. And now I'm here. With that being said, if anyone wants to check out the games I do have for sale, go to the Game Crafter. That's the Burgos art of the Game Crafter, and check out Of Tolls and Trolls. Of Tolls and Trolls, Family Guard game. Can you save your wallet from the evil troll? Let me see. Hey Joe, so I think I figured out why the intern wasn't broadcasting the chat. turns out, even though the visual chat you're seeing in on the stream itself is chat using Streamlabs, you still need to have a chat window open from Restream in the program. Now it's open, but I have the little icon shut off, so you can't see it, but it's there, and that's what it was. If you delete, if you don't have both chats technically active, the chat is not shared through the two different accounts. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a stern talking to about editing the settings on this computer. But yeah. So next time he goes to stream, you will be able to see. He'll be able to see your chat, and you'll be able to see chat from other websites as well. Scoop this guy over. Then we're gonna go, because some of the font is overlapping, so. Boom. Let's. Nope, don't want to do that. No. Come on. It won't let me. I'm trying to click the text layer. If it can let me edit that text layer, but it doesn't let me though. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. That's like an annoying thing that tends to come up in this program. I'll click directly onto a text layer. And this is a text layer. We try something. Can I click away? Delete. Or maybe it's not recognizing it as a text layer. Oh shoot, that's a pain in the butt. Let me try something. We're gonna try something, folks. Yeah, I don't think it does. So where did I get this layer from? So I have the original artwork here. These are all flat. Let's see if we can find the original file. That way I could just, rather than retype everything, let's copy the text right over. Let's see. Wild cards. No, these are also just flat layers. Oh, are they? Oh, here we go. There's the file to be working off of. Don't save. No. Okay. Boom. These are the ones that have the text layer that I can now edit. Just gotta find the right font. What font is this? Let's see. That's a different font as well. What font did I choose for this? You know what, let's... Step by step, people. Let's go step by step. Let me see, which card is this? It's not on this one. File open. Not on this one. So I guess we're just opening up old files now, trying to find where the heck we're supposed to be here. There you are. Nope, it's still doing it. It's still not grabbing the text file. This is gonna be a pain, people. Be a real pain. Don't save. So I gotta, I guess, retype everything. Lovely. This is why I was just not looking forward to any of this. Okay, so these are flat images. We're going to be cut up and reuse. So, yeah. Let's see. You know what? For now, save. Fine tuning comes later. Okay, let's make a new folder. And let's see, who's on the list? Let's see, let's start from... Who did I keep? Who did I get rid of? Let's go with this guy. I like this one, so we'll go with this one. Okay, use this invention to change the sundial. Discard after use. We will go with this piece of artwork right here. So the sundial in the game is essentially a timer of some type. It is a literal sundial, pretty much. It is... Grab that. It is because the gameplay, some stuff stay the same, some things changed based on what time of day it is. So font. That should be black. It should also be a different font. Which I can't find now. What is going on with all the fonts I have? Like everything's just, you know what, let's just type it up first. Is it the clock or a clock? Let's put a clock. You invented a clock. Yeah, so I got, no, there has to be a file where I have all this font, like, in JPEG format. I just copy and paste it over. Just gotta find it. So these are still images. No, these are independent ones, but they're still images. Like they're JPEGs. So I'm looking for working files. Let me see, paper, logo, cards. I know I have to have them somewhere. Same thing with these. These are text, but they're not being translated into Clip Studio. I try to click them, it doesn't register them. So the question is, how did I do this in Clip Studio? What did I actually? No, I think I did all these in Photoshop. All of these were done originally in Photoshop when I first started. Shoot. I'm going to have to download some font later. Yep, I was using the old Photoshop program when I first started streaming because I'm an idiot. Okay, so we're just going to type it up. And we're going to have to. Okay, so let us type a new one. Why is it still white? Shame on you. You know what? No. I'm not gonna sit here and slowly type with my dyslexia, taking up the whole entire damn stream. What we're going to do is draw. We are drawing. So the drawings are simple and kind of crude. Just basic black and white, which is good. Saves us a lot of time. The theme of this is like caveman, and the theme of this is sorry, I just got a ping on my tablet. It's caveman and fictional prehistoric time period. So we're just gonna go ahead and just draw all the cavey stuff, and then once I maybe download a font here and there, I will return to it and start transferring over, or start actually retyping all the text. And trust me, that's gonna be a complete pain in the tuchus. Make sure I label this one ink layer. Label the folder as clock. Alright, yeah, it's not a file, it's a folder among all the layers. So this one file, it'll be all of the wildcards on different layers. And each one will be in its own little folder of ink, color, etc. I'm not flattening this because I flattened it, that's what happened. Everything, to transfer a lot of stuff over, it all got flattened. Redrawing this also allows me to correct a few mistakes. Like I need to center the handle on this hammer. In fact, let me switch back to a regular sharp hard eraser on this. There's a little cloud in the background, a happy little sun, which I might erase anyway, not too sure. See how that, I have to see how the sun intersects with the text later on. So the font for the text on top is Chilla. So I might need to readjust that. A little rock in the background. And save. Here's a fun question. Let me open up another file for a minute. So this is a 2020 edit. Right? Let's check out Fiend, which are the villains. Fiends were the villains. Their background is this kind of Mario brick looking thing. So okay, so that's a T-Rex. Yeah, so it was, I think it's called Chilla, that font. Not sure what this font is. Just thinking for ahead. Yeah, I believe we did all of these when I first started the stream. Do not save. When I first started streaming using my old Photoshop program, and when it transferred over, it didn't register as it didn't register the layer as a font layer. It just is a layer with text on it. which is why I can't click it. That's okay. Because we invented the clock. So we'll do the rest from there. Once again, the text, we'll come back to that later. I just want to get all this. If I get the artwork done tonight, I'll be happy. Yeah, these are all the layers for parts, which I don't need. I can actually delete this because I have all the parts already on another file. I basically, what I was doing was to keep the type of font rather than have to retype it and research it every time. I basically just took the same card file and edited it. So I have 3 different files, but they all have the same card file on it. Before I delete this layer, I call it parts. It's actually supply. These are supplies. Yeah, so we're good. Need to unlock them before I delete them. Delete. Unlock. I just want to reduce the amount of information that's on this. I don't need 15 layers. There. So in this file is a paw print. Some of the cards need this, some of the cards don't. We will address that later. And so far we have, you created fire. No, you create fire. You invented the wheel. Or you invented clock, a clock. And educate yourself. Centered on camera. There you go. Now I am. Alright then, where were we? Let's go with King of the Hill. I like King of the Hill, it's a good one. I can't remember if I did follow the North Star already. Well, I didn't do it yet, but I can't remember like why I skipped it for a minute. Anyway. Boom. I'm so tempted just to like click the font and copy and paste it, but I should write it. It's gonna be a pain in the butt, but I should definitely, fill it out. There you go. Close one King of the Hill. So King of the Hill one, it reads as you kill a beast use its skull to scare your opponent, and then you steal stuff from your opponent. Let me lock the other layers just in case. So, Thunderhead, as stated earlier, was my first attempt at making a card game, and I did a lot. Like I went to get the information copywritten. Like the artwork is like copywritten. So the artwork is copywritten. A lot of the original artworks, a lot of these, a few concepts have been changed, but like the original drawings, like a lot of it was copywritten, which was the cheap part of it. That was actually kind of cheap. I tried to trademark it, but that was a disaster. Basically, a huge waste of money. Not that it's a waste of money to do it. Is that you file paperwork incorrectly and it ends up being useless to you. But with all that being said, there were a few cool things that came out of it. So there is a Thunderhead, history's first genius, so it should be Thunderhead HFG Twitter account, where Thunder, or Thunderhead himself, this particular guy, tweets. It's a caveman tweeting about just different things in life, what it means like to be a caveman, what it means like to be a caveman with his own card game coming out soon, and etc., etc. Standing proud. Big old caveman. I mean, it feels to me like I think of the so this all came out way before the show. What's it called? Primal. It is all way before Primal ever came out. This was an old project, like I said. With that said, though, like this is Primal. Primal was definitely a completely goofy show. That's what this is. Just this caveman. You play as a cave. You play as one of several cavemen. The main one being described as Thunderhead, and you're trying to stake your land in the new your claim in the new land, because you have been kicked out of your tribe for being too smart by by caveman standards. They're too smart to be allowed in the tribe, which is a nice way of saying you're too full of yourself. So the card game, this board game now, it's gonna be a board game actually. The board game is literally just you trying to find supplies, trying to survive, and stake your claim, and that's it. Trying to outdo your fellow cavemen. Right, so that's the white layer. I'm gonna do a quick Google search when I get a chance and find out how to add more font into Clip Studio, because that's one thing I need to do. I need to like really find certain fonts. Out of curiosity, what would be a good substitute for what I have so far on the other cards? Not for Chilla, but for the more rounded one. You know, we'll check that later as well. At a later point, I'll open up my old Photoshop files and I'll look up the name of that exact font, the more rounded edge font. Because for a while I was using it in Arial. Arial was like a basic font, which is really easy to read, but I wanted something a bit more on the cards. I was actually really proud of this background. Of the like I wanted each card to have a different kind of looking face. I didn't want to go too crazy, because I think that's what happened when I first started this game. I just had, oh, what goes with cavemen, and I just started throwing every design and every concept at the wall. But I do want the cards to stand out, because the cards are on a table in front of people. Like, people need to see your cards, so giving them different colors. This red card, there's a red cardish, the blue stone you saw, the health is green, and the supplies or pot cards are brown, like wood, so they need to stand out. So, and also think of like what can be square. So when I did the square pelt with the little toes at the end, I was actually quite happy with myself. I don't know if I kept followed. I did drop some of these cards. So follow the North Star might be one of them. But for now, I know Lost I kept. So let's keep Lost. The Lost map. I also need to double check. So if you see here, he has a paw print. There's a paw print there. So some of these need to have paw prints on them. Paw prints mean, a paw print means you can save the card for later or pass it on to someone on your turn. In fact, you know what? Copy. So the clock definitely gets one. So I'll put it in the clock layer. Also need to fix the way I typed it. Clock. There we go. So the clock has a paw print. Check. Who else has a paw print? The one we just did has a paw print. So I'll put it in that one as well. Paste. Good. Okay, like all the visuals are being done. The text will be later, but the visuals have to be done now. And does the lost map also have one? It does not. You lose a map. You lose the lost map. So, like I said, you can save the King of the Hill. You kill the beast, scare it, play with its skull. They lose one part. You can actually hold on to that card and use it later on when one of your opponents gets a bit too powerful, or trade it to an opponent for something else. But when you lose a map, you lose a map. And yes, the map is just on a big old leaf. Put a little bike mark in it. Because it's a tree star. I know some people get that reference. So, individual on the interwebs, on Twitter, someone on Twitter asked, what animated movie makes you cry like a child? And my reply was straight up Land Before Time. Precisely the ending of Land Before Time. It has a happy ending, but for whatever reason, like, it just sticks with me as like this great emotional moment. The ending of Land Before Time to this day will make me get really emotional, and I don't know why. It's just, I guess, the relief of endorphins, however you say it. Like, as I watch the ending of the film, and you have that scene where they all the main characters kind of reconvene at that one. It's a quiet ending where they all reconvene. And they all just kind of like hug each other and make like this kind of pyramid reaching upward into the sky. And the narrator says, like something along the lines of, they live happily in the valley, and their stories was told to their children's children and grandchildren. Basically, it's like they lived, and like the story of how they got there will be passed down among their children and children and children. And it's then followed up with this song they played a song. They play a song at the end. Okay, I can't think of the lyrics right now. I can only think of like how it sounds. And I said in the chat, yes, that ending always makes me cry. It's like such a beautiful, like, happy ending. Forget the sequels, they never happened. And someone commented, "Oh my God, me too. Something about the ending always makes me cry." Now here's a fun story for you, which I also admitted on Twitter because I'm a man and a man can admit when he cries. I was in a convenience store. A few years back. No, during COVID, so definitely like a year or so ago. It's like a year ago. And I get hit with this wave of just like really like hard sadness. I don't know what it was. I don't know what was causing it. I was just like getting like my heart was kind of racing. I'm like, what's going on? Am I having like am I dying? And my brain didn't register that for the first time ever, because I've never ever heard this song anywhere else but in the movie. And for some reason, the ending song to the film was playing on the loudspeaker. And I was like, oh my God, don't cry. Don't cry. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man in public. And it was just the weirdest thing because I've never heard the song anywhere else. But all of a sudden it just showed up. And I put that in the chat. I put it on Twitter saying that exact story. I almost cried because the song was playing. And when I typed that, someone literally started typing the lyrics to the song because they knew the lyrics. To this one obscure song, they knew the lyrics. It's like, don't stay away, or something like that. And jokingly, I typed back, I'm not crying, you're crying, shut up. And it was just like a funny moment. It was like, man, how does this person know this like song? Like, that is really weird. That this person on the internet just happens to know the exact lyrics to this song. But yeah, like, that movie stuck with me. Is it the reason I'm doing this card game? No, it's not. It's not the reason I'm doing this card game. But that's like, that movie will make me cry, man. Like, I will bawl at the end of that movie, or at the very least, you'll see me tear up. I just can't handle it, you know. But just the chances of that random song playing at that random moment. I don't even know the name of the song. I don't want to look it up right now. I can't do it right now. That's a story of how a grown man almost started crying in CVS or wherever the hell I was. I don't know. Alright, so the map is done. It does kind of bug me that the paw print is kind of slightly off the map, but you know, the paw print's kind of like a secondary, like it's not really part of the picture. What does it do? I just made something. There we go. White. Leaf map. Okay, lost map is good. File, save. The geyser. Yeah, let's do the geyser next. Watch your step. What did I call that? Refreshing. Yep, that was it. It was called refreshing. think it's what's it say? Refreshing. You walked into a geyser. You should really watch your step. You lose 2 hearts. You lose 2 points of health. So it's a board game where you have health points. It's a pretty family friendly board game. But it's a matter. But it has a little bit of trading, so you can like make deals with other players, or you can also pass things to them. So it has an aspect of like, I don't know, are board games considered random chance? Because some games are labeled as random chance and people don't like games like that, but technically, isn't that what board games are? You roll and you end up on the spot. There you go. Things not going well for you. Hey, buddy. Even Thunder himself has a really exaggerated, simple body type. I designed him with just... I wanted to give him something that kind of like stuck out, and I essentially gave him huge, rounded shoulders. Like his shoulders are just like giant bowling balls. He just kind of stands at like a gorilla. He has like long arms, stubby legs. Think of a slightly more angular version of the Crudes. Yes, but one of the main things is like his rounded shoulders. I kind of want to do like a little statuette of him as like an advertising piece when I get a chance. I have a figurine I started of one of the characters from my game Frightful Forest that was not meant to be selected. Frightful Forest, which needs a heavy overhaul because it's a much more complicated game than this is. But I did do a little I started a figurine of one of the characters you could play as, but I really like the way the figurine was sculpted, but the material it was made out of was garbage. It's like that really rubbery plastic, so it was such a pain to color, such a pain to like really work on and sculpt, and I kind of just lost my momentum with that one. And because of that, it just sits on my art table right now, and I really should return to it. I should just return to it and really hardcore, just like repaint it, like really make it look presentable, and just make a little stand for her. It's a girl. For her to stand on. That way, I'll have like a little statuette to go with it. To go, it's just little ways to advertise your work, Besides, she's a redheaded, like Renaissance kind of dressed goth witch, and you can't go on with that. Correction, she's a Wiccan. She's dressed like kind of like old timey cotton shirt. Mixed with like modern day goth military boots, and yeah, I should really return to her and just like clean her up. It's not a hard figurine to fix. It gave me so much trouble. I just lost my love for it. I need to regain my love. But that's a back burner at the moment, much like Frightful Forest itself is a back burner. Thunderhead, I think, is much easier to finish and get out there and test play. Frightful Forest has way too much things that need to be tweaked. But aside from that, I also have, of course, a few other Sculpture works I need to finish. Doing one for Red Spectra. Wink, wink. You guys will hopefully see that soon. How? Yeah, the font for these is a little bit thicker. I should be using a slightly thicker brush. I need the lines to look close enough. Cause like look at you create fire, right? And look at like this guy. The lines not as heavy as they could be. Okay, looks good. New layer. Call it white. Spell white correctly. Not in cap lock. I'm reaching at a weird angle to type because my tablet's in the way. Still freaking love that background. Still love that background. Oh, need to bend my knee. Sorry. Oh. Oh. Don't get old, people. I could probably pull down this artwork if I needed room on top for the font, which is good. Effect. Well, that selects the layer. How do I forgot what tool I use. Move layer. No. Yes, there we go. That was the issue I was having in this program, trying to find out what tool was it that let me move two layers at once. Because it's like move object, move layer, select layer. I mean, I'm complaining about a free program that has so many bells and whistles. You know, it's don't read too much into it. I don't know if you guys could hear that. I think there's a cat stare down going down outside. You know when two cats just look at each other and start hissing? You look out your window and you go, hey! They scatter. In my old apartment, I used to have to do that all the time. I'll look out the window and I get a cup of water. I wouldn't throw it at the cats. I'm not a monster. I'll get a cup of water because it's loud. And I would throw it, and then once it hits the floor, the cat would run in either direction. Also, it's different from a person yelling out the window at a cat. A little splash of water is much different. Plus, the cats see an object land near them and they take off. what? I'm gonna also clear off some more stuff. What do I not need? You I keep. I don't know why you will open. You know what? I'll keep that. You're the background. I gotta keep you. Might as well keep you too. Okay. Locking a layer. Locking a layer. We're doing good. It's slow paced, but we're getting all the new stuff down, which I'm happy with. Next is Dino doorbell. This is my first one. Fun fact. Once again, going back to the fact that this was a Minecraft card game originally. I actually have a sketchbook of all of these cards and like their Minecraft counterparts. This was a creeper at the door. And it was creeper at the door, blows off your door. And this one is Dino doorbell, a T-Rex eats your door. That should be enough. Yeah, that should be enough size on this. We still don't know what dinosaurs really look like. I think there was a fad going around on DeviantArt, definitely a few years ago, where people were doing fluffy T-Rexes. It was a cute thing. Basically, it was T-Rexes covered in feathers or hair, but they were like puffy, like baby chickens. So everyone was just drawing their own cute versions of like vibrantly greens and blues and purples and whatnot colors, like impossible animal colors. At least for fur, not for feathers. Feathers could be any color, but these were like this puffy, fluffy little T-Rexes, really cute looking T-Rexes. I love when that happens. I love like when in the art community there's this wave of moments. You know, everyone was like, "Oh, the memes of, all those memes of what was the name? Balzette." But it was so much artwork came out of Balzette. From everything from like adult artwork to really adult artwork to cutesy artwork. And then Balzette also people started drawing. Someone then drew Balzette with tan skin and red hair, more like Bowser, and people started drawing that version and started making that version like really muscular. And you get these waves of artwork that just like travel the internet. Sometimes it's a beautiful thing when you see it. It's like really cool. I like it more. I also like it when you're able to track it. When you're able to actually backtrack where it started. Balzette, you can actually backtrack the original artist on DeviantArt who started that, and it was a really simple drawing too. It was like a throwaway gag, and then people saw it and just latched onto it. Right now, the big wave is Buttercup. There's a picture of Buttercup waking up in bed from Powerpuff Girls, and her hair's all messy, but she's smiling. She looks really cutesy, but her hair's all messed up. And someone drew that in their own style, like, oh, here's Buttercup, my own style. And then someone else thought, man, that looks really adorable, and she looks like an anime character, and it just started going and going and going. You have all these people drawing Buttercup on her messy hair, and one artist drew all the girls from that exact scene in the cartoon with their messy hair. The exact same thing happened with a few months back with Sailor Moon. The image where Sailor Moon's like on the floor looking at the camera, really distraught. People just started pumping out tons of fan art in their style of that. Some of it was funny, some of it was just weird. It was enjoyable. Just Sailor Moon, man. Sailor Moon will always have a fan base, even among those who were not fans, such as myself. I was never really a big Sailor Moon person. Knock knock. Kind of makes me think of the show Dinosaurs. With like its weird, somewhat morbid sense of humor, where they would just be like trying to eat each other half the time. Sinclair! One of my friends was talking about that. He was like, isn't that guy like a Triceratops kind of character? Like, why does he want to eat the main guy? Like, you're like a herbivore, aren't you? I forget how it came in. Was it one of my coworkers? One of my friends and I were recently talking about the show. I mentioned it offhandedly, and he was like, "Oh man, that show! No one ever talks about it." And it was just this thing where he was like, "I always remember the episode called Hurling Day, where his boss had a video of himself throwing his mother-in-law like off a cliff or something." I was like, "Oh yeah, Hurling Day." I need to get the rest of that on DVD. I have the first two seasons, but then I couldn't find the rest for some reason. I don't know what it was. I don't know if like they didn't release it, then they waited for like, then they had to wait for some reason. I think it was an issue of like copyrights and stuff. Something's not being erased here. Why are you not being erased? What's going on? What am I looking at? What is that? Oh, it's the actual background. It's the had to get all up in that nostril. It's the original sketch. It has a dark spot on it. Oh, no. Once again, really simple, kind of messy, just lines. Because the idea is that it's all drawn in cave drawings. Haha, that's the idea. Which is why I don't have to go too crazy for some of this. Like in this case, I left out the actual like door opening and just let that hinge off. It's just him at the door right here. What's that old joke? Avon calling. Yeah, that was a joke I never got as a kid because of just like, you know, before my time, as they say. Avon was like the door-to-door salesman for makeup. They'll just show up at your door, of course, and try to sell you makeup, like a, you know, used vacuum salesman or something. And the slogan was Avon calling. And I'm trying to remember when I first heard that expression. It was in some movie where someone was using it as a joke, kind of like, here's Johnny. And most people don't know where Here's Johnny is from, but that's also like a before your time kind of thing. That works. Okay. Alright. Got no doorbell. Artwork, at least, in the can. Oh yeah, why would you eat that? Did I keep this one? I'm gonna assume I kept this one. You know what? Just doing a quick check. Picardo says I have one viewer. It could just be me viewing it underneath my account. It says I have one viewer. But if it's not me, thank you for joining. Nothing in the chat though for them. I have to check Picardo always separately. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, you can't see it, but I'm signing in to my GameCrafter account. Oh, excuse me. There we go. The thing is, your heart attack like saying a page not found when you're looking at your account. Okay, let's see. Thunderhead. Copy of Thunderhead. Here we go. Let's go into my wild cards. Here we go. Yeah, I dropped the quantity of each of these cards. I have like 3 of each card. So we do have that, we have that, we have that. So I'm checking which cards I kept. Because I have an edited file on the GameCrafter website that's a file, a work in progress. And I went through it and I kept some cards and I got rid of other ones. So we have to, okay, good. So the ones we've done so far that I still kept are the shelf. What else do we have here? We have the geyser. We have the on fire. The sundial. The map. Yes. So okay, good. So we did keep this one. So I don't want to redraw any folders. I don't want to redraw something I haven't decided to keep. I think I kept almost all of them except for like maybe one. I think I kept all the concepts for except one, I think. Nope. Finger slipped and I copied something I shouldn't have. Paste. There we go. So we're going to erase you. We're going to take you, boy, and drop you down a pinch. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, and I'm gonna call this Why Eat That, and I spelled eat A-E-T because why not? Oh, I clicked the wrong button. All right then. So why eat? It's actually called. Why would you eat that? That is not food. You lose 2 hearts. It's pretty self-explanatory. Kind of lowbrow, but what you gonna do? You're a caveman. Also, I stylized Thunder's ear as just a little swirl. Usually I don't do like a swirl like that. What he does need is more of a head. Like his head's kind of flat. I have to extend the back of his head out a bit more. Using the wrong eraser again. Yeah, so he does have a certain key traits. His hair is this big old spikes. He always has this little curl in the front like that. Bring this out a bit more. Give him more of a skull. And he has that one tooth that sticks out right there. He has like hair like Blanca. In some countries, it's a cuisine. Yeah, right. Because kids think poop is funny, right? And maybe one day I'll adjust this and have him eating like a dead bug or something. I don't know. Something a bit more PG. I'll figure it out. Got an itch. Oh. It's an itch like in the nostril. I'm not gonna go gold digging right now. Oh. There's enough weirdness happening in this piece of artwork as it is. I'm gonna leave out the sniff. I'm gonna leave that out for now because it's just too much. It's too much little bit of writing in the artwork. It should just be a flat piece of artwork, not no writing in your artwork. I forgot to color in the hair. I'll do some stripes in a minute. Same thing with the tunic. I think I designed his original tunic to have like spots, like a kind of Flintstone-y kind of spot. Wrong button. Rather wrong color. He has a man nipple. He has a man nipple. It's like every piece of artwork. Never would. They don't like drawing nipples on men. There's like even some adult artwork, especially like in Japanese anime, where they won't just put a little dot there. It's like, what? Is it too much? Is that where you draw the line in your adult work? Alright, why eat that? Boom, file save. Now this one I know I have on the page. So the only thing I'm not sure, actually, let me see if I see follow the star. Okay. Once again, you can't see it because I'm on the website. Follow that star. Follow that star. I think I got rid of it. Yeah. That can't be right. Only kept 9. No. How many cards do I have in here? 20 cards. I chose to keep 20 cards. The original, like, freaking, like, 30 of them. So, yeah. I streamlined the gameplay. So, you follow the star was not one of them. Because, if I remember correctly, let's go back. Change direction of gameplay. That was it. You're on a board game mat. And on the mat, the little start area has an arrow pointing in that direction. So rather than confuse the players by switching it around, I kept it in that direction. You're always moving the same direction on the board. It's like the change direction of gameplay was originally meant to change the direction of who goes next. But it just confuses. That can be confusing for players to switch back and forth. So I left that out. I don't see it in my new revised file for the GameCrafter website. Good. Streamline your work. Don't be afraid to get rid of work. I don't mean throw it away. All your work, every idea you come up with, as stupid as it is, put it into a folder, physical or otherwise, and hold on to it. You don't have to cram every idea. This is a conversation I have with my good friend Joe, because Joe pumps out so many freaking good ideas, but sometimes it gets overwhelming. You have to tell yourself, you know what, this idea does not work for this project. Let me put it into my back pocket, put it to the side, and it might be useful later. In this case, there were a lot of ideas that just as the game developed, just did not work. Like I had to go, no, chopping board. And maybe later on for another game, I'll use the exact same card for a different game. But as of right now, of what you see here on screen, let me back up a bit. Make sure, can you see it all? Yeah. So, what you see right here, this window is pretty much, we've done everything here. We're just going to do the squid, and we should be done with this window. Which would then leave us. Oh, and we've done the briefcase on this one. So let me see. There's the briefcase. What else is on this page? Coconut helmet, stone helmet. It's a coconut helmet, stone helmet, spider web, and the mosquito. Yeah, all helmets, all the helmets, all the bits of armor. No, here we go. No, I do have a stone helmet. What makes the stone helmet different from the rock helmet? So I kept the rock helmet. I kept some buffers against the creatures that could kill you. Alright. What I got rid of was the mosquito. Yeah. So the mosquito, you don't look so good. There were originally 2 mosquito cards in the deck, and there were 3 netting cards. And I need to move this a bit so you can see it more. There you go. So there were 2 mosquito cards and I think 3 net cards. And the net cards could be traded, as you can see by the little paw print. And the idea was, if you got the mosquito, it would like slowly drain you. But if you had the net card, it would automatically get rid of it. But that's just too much, because then you're trading back and forth. You have a card that's slowly draining you. And if you don't get the net card, you die like within the next 2 rolls. It was too much. Too much gameplay elements that could get confusing, and too much of a hindrance on on a character. You get the mosquito bite, and if you don't go to the deck fast enough and find the netting, or if no one wants to trade with you, you're pretty much dead. So I said, no, it's too much, get rid of it. But on this page, it's this one, it's the hit the nut job, the rock star, and educate yourself. So we'll address that later on. We'll go to those 2 later on. For now, let's finish up with the squid. I was always kind of happy with the squid. Just like the little guy squeaking. I definitely gotta fix that squid head a little bit better. So I'm thinking we'll end it with a squid. It's gonna be about 10 o'clock. What's a nice day for a swim? Go for a swim. Go for swim. Okay, once again, make a folder, go for a swim, shrink down. Is it O for object? It's O for object. Not shrink down, sorry. Lower the opacity. Make a new layer for the ink, and then beneath that make a layer for the white. That's the process I'm going through for all of these. Let's really fix that squid head. Squid ink. There we go. Let's center it a bit. That is not the right button. That's the button I need. That looks a little better. Just gotta be careful, as the expressions say, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. But, you know, still. By the way, octopi and squids are freaking terrifying. They are horrible creatures. I'm saying it. I'm throwing it out there. I don't care what you think. They are. I mean, they're remarkable creatures. Like, you know, people always talk about chameleons and their color changing abilities, but we always get it wrong. We think they could just camouflage themselves and they can't. Watching an actual like octopus like change shape, like alter its squishy shape and blending in with its surroundings is like freaking incredible. Knowing how they hunt and watching how, especially squids, that's terrifying. That's too much. Too much. Yeah, that'll do just fine. That'll do just fine. Don't want to go nuts when I do little details like this, because remember that's the wrong button again. Remember the point of these drawings is to be just as big, blocky, basic brushes. BBB. So I don't need to do like really fine detail. I could do really fine detail drawing, but I'm just keeping it simple for now. This guy's feet sticking out. Help me! Tell my cave wife I love her. I know what I'm gonna do. There you go. Yeah, that definitely works. How much space do I need for the font on this? Not much. I could probably move them over a bit if I wanted to. Right there. Once again, these all might be moved around once I get the new standard size font I'm using in this. And the kneaded eraser gives me just the right kind of edge I need, but it's the fact I have to like really go twice, otherwise I have a very... It doesn't fully erase on the first pass. In fact, is there a way to adjust that? Let me see. Kneaded eraser... Texture density is 80%. Can I raise that up? What happens if I raise that? Okay, so I just raised... That's it. No, still. You still need an adjustment. So I'll just leave the setting the way it was. That way it doesn't drive me crazy later on. Much. Yeah, it still requires two strokes. Having a stroke here. Alright, so everyone on this page is done. The only things left on this page are these two guys. And also on the final page, let's see. Bag of Tricks, we kept. Break and Enter, I kept. Got a Light, I kept. Life is the Pits, I also kept. You're on a Roll, which is the wheel, and Sticks and Stones, which is a defense against monsters. Let's see if I kept Ankle Breaker. So it's got a light. Okay, I'm checking. Did I not keep Ankle Breaker? Wow, I always liked Ankle Breaker. I kept the... Yes, I did. Okay. So... ankle, as an Ankylosaurus. It's a pun, if you know what dinosaurs you like. That's Ankylosaurus. It says Ankle Breaker. Foot Fungus. We kept both of those. Did I keep Plesiosaurus? I kept the coconut armor. I kept the stone armor. I did. Yeah. So I think all I actually cut out. So Plesiosaurus, Ankle Breaker, and Foot Fungus. So I think out of all the cards, I got rid of the Mosquito, the Netting, and the Follow the North Star. Those are the three I got rid of. And the rest, I greatly reduced in terms of numbers. There's only 20 cards that are set at chance cards. But there's one thing we have not been checking. Let's see. Okay, the only thing on this page that you can save and trade for later is the clock. Check. When we get to them, it'll be those two as well. Wait, let me double check. Gotta double check something, folks. Okay, fire, yeah. So the clock has a paw print. And yes, sorry. King of the Hill has a paw print. Those two have paw prints. When we move on to the next page, a lot of these have paw prints. Yeah. Okay, okay. King of the Hill. So once again, there is... You create fire. Educate yourself. You invent a clock. King of the Hill. He stands on top of the dead dino. The lost map. Refreshing, which is the geyser. Dino doorbell. I'd like to talk to you about the word of Jesus Christ. Why would you eat that? And go for a swim. And there we go. Yeah. So the real issue I'm going to have is, I swear, I have to have this font. How can I have all these files and not one of them has open fonts? Well, they have open fonts, but they're not being read. That's what it's... These have open fonts, but they're not being read by the system. They don't read them as text. They read them as... They're just being read as like images. So I gotta retype all of this. All of this. Or, hear me out here. When I get the chance, I'll just open these up in Photoshop and copy and paste all the text from Photoshop into here. So rather than have to type everything over and over and over again, because I type slowly, I just copy and paste. But I still have to think about the fonts. Like what is the font called? But yeah, that's you know what? I'm so curious. I am curious, people. We're gonna open up Photoshop. I just want to highlight the font if it lets me, and figure out if the name of the font. Where's my post-it? I need a post-it. Yeah, the last file I opened up in Photoshop was this. Can't believe it. Some text layers, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The following fonts are missing. Educate yourself. Chiller, regular. 1 second, guys. We're gonna end this on a good note. 1 second. B4. Okay. So. So under fonts, titles, the titles are in chiller, regular. You can hit OK on that. Oh, it says Arial rounded and bold. Awesome. So, and the description, describe, made it a D, described, because I'm dyslexic, like a freaking fool, is Arial. It is Arial, but it's Arial rounded, MT bold, letter MTM bold. So I'm not going to change that. No, I'm not going to save that either. Let's do a quick check. Right? So let's say, let's go back up to this one. So I'm going to do a test font. Fire. Right? So first of all, it's going to be black and text, black text. Gotta figure out the size too. We'll do that later. Arial. Okay, so I gotta. So we have Arial, but we don't have Arial. Sorry, I got an itch on my back. We don't have Arial rounded and bold. We could do bold, but we need Arial rounded. And would it be beneath rounded Arial? Let's see. R. A B C D E F G H I P Q R S. No. Okay, so those are the fonts I need to look up online and download. Alright, so those are the fonts. On my off time, off a stream, I'll look up, I'll download. Then I'll do the tedious job of going into the Photoshop files, copying that text, pasting it, and then changing it. And then we can, you know, rearrange the artwork to fit the layout. You know, make sure there's enough room and stuff. Delete that. Yes, delete. But not bad. Got most of the artwork for this done so far. Like almost all of the almost all these images are like good to go. Like all the cards are almost good to go. So I'm gonna close that, close, don't save, and close, don't save, file, open. Let's see. Yep, all the mattes, everything here was done in the old Photoshop. So it all has to be translated over. Poot. Poot, I say. Matte a stat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, here's the stats. Here's the stat card, so every player knows how much health they have, and you roll between the sun and moon on this particular thing. But on top, health points. Where are you? Okay, we have color. You have all the fonts. Yep. All of these fonts have been saved as images and not a text font. Adjustable. Don't save. This kind of sucks though. I mean, it doesn't work anyway because I started these drawings. Crud, how did I do this then? If I don't have the font files in Photoshop on this, did I start these way back when? When did I? No. See, all of these are in 2000, right? This is a bad one. It's weird because when I opened it in Photoshop, it tried to autocorrect. No, it autocorrected Chilla. I don't think it tried to autocorrect the Ariel. So on this computer, on my old Photoshop file, I don't have Chilla. So at some point I did start this on my old laptop, and then I transferred it over and started doing it on the new desktop within this year. I've had this desktop for 1 year right now. Yep. So all of this was pretty much started on the older computer. Wow. That's how long I've been working on this. Time we have lost this year. Anyway, I've been rambling now. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been rambling and rambling. But yeah. So, as usual, thank you to people who have joined. So Joseph Testament, Cretorius Rex. People check him out. He's really good. Check out Cretorius Rex, like creation, on Instagram. You will not be disappointed. And to everyone else who'll see anyone else who'll see this later on, thank you for watching. If you want to watch these at a much later date, everything gets saved on YouTube and Twitter. I'm not too sure how Twitter handles video, but YouTube will definitely hold on to these. So you can always watch those later on as well. And I think that is all the basic audio announcements. All the basic, hoopla and whatnot. So with that said, once again, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future.